Antikythera Mechanism. And Antikythera is an island in the Grecian area, and there was a shipwreck that was discovered by divers, and in that shipwreck was an ancient computer made by a Greek craftsman showing gears, a great many gears, all arranged in a very compact arrangement. However, it was made of bronze, and bronze in seawater doesn't exactly get along, and it just doesn't last. So this book is about the discovery of everything to do with the Antikythera mechanism. Antikythera. Now, I've seen a video of a version of this being built, and I can recommend that you watch ClickSpring on YouTube and go through the 10-part series. It's very interesting, but he couldn't get there until Wright and Price, and now Mr. Rivers has written a book about this mechanism and how they discovered what it was for, how it worked, and what the parts were, most likely. Because not all of it is still there after so many years. They think it's was built about 500 BC, somewhere around in there, which is totally upsetting because they didn't think the Greeks could get there. Actually, they thought that gears began when we began making clocks. But no. We can blame the Greeks for a lot of things, but being slow isn't exactly one of them. I recommend this book for anybody who's interested in technology and might like to actually make one. Now we have a funny book, Absurd Scientific Answers to Very Real World Questions. How to mail a package from the moon. Shove it out the airlock. It'll eventually fall to Earth. Mr. Munroe is not someone to take seriously. Perhaps you have read his earlier book, What If? Also very funny. But yes, it's very absurd. But you'll have a good time reading it, especially with the stick figures. Now, all these books are available as eBooks, as well as paperback and hardback, I suppose. I don't buy them on hardback. I've gotten on an ebook kick. Anyway, so this one is the lightest of this 4 that we're reviewing today, and it is a scream. You'll love it. Go get a copy. Now, this is not the Feinman you're used to. No, this is a different Feinman. However, nutrition is in crisis because everybody's not being sensible. If your body can't digest carbohydrates properly, don't eat any. It is just that simple. If you're overweight, don't eat any carbohydrates. If you're diabetic, don't eat any carbohydrates. If you have heart disease, atherosclerosis, and so on, don't eat any carbohydrates. Problem solved over time, of course, because it took you a while to get in the condition that you were in. So it's going to take a while for your body to heal and your health to improve. But that's the problem, because you keep getting the wrong advice from people who are supposed to know better. This is what you get when you don't wait for the science. to actually go, aha, eureka, and so on. This is a very reasonable book. He's not actually ripping anybody's heads off here, but he is pointing out what's nonsense and what isn't. So, this is another book that I can recommend. I'm not saying you're gonna like it. Just like with Nina Tischholz's book, people will put it down in anger at how they've been misled for so many years. But yes, there is no reason from birth to death why anyone would eat carbohydrates if they're humans. You don't need them. Your liver does all that for you automatically. Okay, so there's that. I recommend getting an ebook of this one. It's available everywhere, of course. And now for the real heavy of this quartet. Who says you're dead? It is not funny. It is not funny at all. This is a book about medical ethics. It's a very challenging sort of book. What do you believe? How far can people go when they want self-modification, as it were? And not the normal sort of self-modification, sex change and all that. No, this is bizarre stuff. It's like, what? I'm reading this going, you're asking doctors to do what? I'm going, well, what's the limits on personal freedom when it comes to these questions? It's really, some of these things I can't answer. I just can't. Perhaps you'll find that you're in the same situation going, what? And find yourself without an answer as well. It's a tough one. But then ethics usually is a trifle difficult. Because there's competing interests. Just how it is, There's nothing anybody can do about that. It's one of the conditions of life. But that's the whole point of who says you're dead. How far does medical ethics go? In any case, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching. Please come again.